Hello, welcome back. Working on the race car today. You know what happened to Castle Coombe? Tensioner failed, ran into the bottom pulley, messed it up. So that's the main thing I'm going to try and fix today, or in this episode. And there's a couple of little niggly jobs as well. But we'll get into this bottom pulley and see how we get on. So, progress report. I've obviously cut a slit in it, as you can see, and if I can get this to focus right, it is starting to walk off the end of the crank with the help of a pry bar. So I'm just going to continue trying to walk it off. I don't want to cut any more, so I don't want to accidentally cut into the nose of the crank. But yeah, if I can continue walking it off with pry bars. I can't get in from the top, I have to do everything from the bottom, so I'm just literally in the bottom here with a pry bar just to try and walk it off. So yeah, I'll continue. Finally, after lots of cutting, swearing, bending with pry bars, it's off. I did cut into the nose of the crank a little bit, but it should be okay. I hope so anyway. Yeah, the other one's still a press fit on, so that's fine. I'll clean up the end of this crank and get the new one on. Yeah, fun and games. So here's my little setup for getting the new pulley on. So it's the same as what we've taken off, apart from less cut. So pulley, some fire to try and heat it up, and then a 30mm socket mounted backwards on an extension, which will sit nicely on there, so that when I try and batter it on with the persuader, it should go on nicely. I'm not putting too much force on anything like around this bit. I'm putting all the force on the front of it, but it's actually needing to go. So I'll try and get some heat into this. I need some gloves. But yeah, I'll try and get some heat into this, and then see how far I can get it on just with heating it up, and then give it a couple of chaps the rest of the way, and then as long as I can get enough to get a few threads in the bolt, and the bolt should take it the rest of the way. yeah, let's get it done. So the current setup looks like this. The pulley is probably about halfway on the crank. I got it there just by obviously heating it, giving it a few tappy taps, and it got there. Now what I'm doing is I have a slightly longer bolt, the same thread size as the crank bolt. Just for comparisons, here's the new crank bolt and here's the one I'm using. You see that? So it is a bit longer. So I'm using that. Threading that in. I've got an axle stand set up here, so that when I put my extension and everything on there, that just rests on there. That way I'm not putting any like would it be like axial forces on the bolt, something like that. But basically all the axial loads go into the axle stand, so that when I go on there with a bar, get on. So when I get on here with a bar, tighten it up. So obviously the engine will spin a little bit, and then I've got, I don't know if you can see on camera, but basically I've got the brake disc on this side held still by a bolt in the vents, and obviously the car's in gear, so the diff will stop the engine from rotating, and we'll just slowly I'm using a big bar, but I'm not putting an extreme amount of force in. I'm just kind of slowly coaxing it in. And you hear those noises, that'll be the noises of it actually, the pulley actually moving onto the crank. But it is slowly going on. Every so often I take the bolt out. You still see? Yeah, every so often I take this bolt out, just give it a clean up. I have oiled the bolt for getting it in, but then when it comes to putting the new crank bolt in, I'll make sure I'll blast some air down here, and I'll make sure it's nice and dry, so that when the new crank bolt goes in I can torque it up properly. But I'll continue doing this and then bring you back when it's all done. So this turned into a bit of a nightmare. Yeah. So I've got the pulley on. Working on getting the rest of the bolt out. There's not much of it in there. I need to order a new bolt. There's still threads there, which is fine. Yeah, I think I should have heated, like once I got the pulley on a bit more, I should have heated it up again and then try to work it in with the bolt. But what I've ended up doing, I've been heating it and then just putting a smaller bolt through and smashing it with a hammer, and it's gone on. So it's all on and aligned now. I just need to get a new bolt and put that in. So yeah, it's been a bit of a nightmare, but we're getting to the end here now. In other news, I fixed this window. So you remember at Castle Coombe it was popping out. The reason it popped out is because it actually dropped where I'd mounted it down here, wherever it is. There's like a screw in here somewhere that's through the flexi, through that, but it's on like a slider. It dropped down on that. But anyway, what I've also done is I used to have this tension rod thing here on the very lip of the door. What I've done is I've moved it further in, so then it's given more force this way to hold the window in. So now when I close the door, give it a shove. There we go, so that's it, all nice up in the seal now. It's all up in the seal up there, and that, can't pull that out at all. So yeah, that's that done. So we're finally getting there. Still a couple of weeks to go until Donington. Yeah, I've been working on quite a lot of things, so this is taking a bit of a back seat, but yeah, finally getting there. So I'm going to go home, edit this video, watch the F1, and we'll see you next time.